Welcome back, everyone, to CA Hoops Weekly. I'm Bobby Broyles, along with Bill Potter. Another week in the books, Bill, and plenty of headlines to take away, but we begin at the top of the league race as William & Mary improves to 5-0 in CA action last week.
It was a great week last week, Bobby, and for the third time in program history, William & Mary is off to a 5-0 start as they pulled away late in the first half and eventually collected a 67-56 win in a matchup of unbeaten teams against Charleston. And before that, on Thursday night, Hofstra Northeastern put on a show on the CBS Sports Network. Hofstra raced out to a 16-point first-half lead, only to see Northeastern storm back behind Jordan Rowland's 25 second-half points. However, it was Eli Pemberton who struck the final blow, knocking down a jumper with half a second to play to lift the Pride past the Huskies 74-72. And we saw Towson dominate at home to improve to an even 3-3 in CAA play. In both of the Tigers' wins, they built leads of more than 20 points by halftime.
Joining us now is our CAA basketball insider, Eamon Brennan. Eamon, we'll get right to it. Obviously, the headline going into the early start of conference season has to be William & Mary, 5-0 with a lot of good wins on the road so far early in conference play. What have you liked from the Tribe?
I mean, yeah, it's been a fantastic start for William & Mary. I think if you're looking at the conference as a whole right now, the one story that will really jump out at you is William & Mary. I mean, it's a team that was picked 7th, and to begin the league coming into this season. It's a team that I think had clearly some quality players in Nathan Knight and some guys around him, but I don't know that the expectations were necessarily there for. And you look at what they've done so far; they look, to me at least right now, kind of far and away the best team in the league. Although they'll have competition, and I'm sure we'll get to that, but just their ability to, as you said, go on the road and get wins is. We saw that early in the year when we talked about them. Their road performances in non-conference play and true road games, which you don't see all that often, was really impressive. And they've carried that through, into league play with 3 straight wins to open the season at Elon, at Hofstra, at Northeastern. The latter of those two of their main competitors for the conference title this season. And yeah, they're off and running. I think it's a really, really impressive team in a variety of ways. And you see what they were last year and what they are this year and the pieces they put around Nathan Knight and a guy like Andy Van Vliet, 7-foot guy who can play out on the wing. They have more balance and versatility on offense. Thornton Scott, he's had some injury issues here and there, but they're 9-0 when he's played as a sort of a 3-point specialist, helped stretch the floor. And as we've talked about a lot with William & Mary, it's really helped balance their offense out this year, that sort of inside-out attack with Nathan Knight. Luke Lowy typically guards the opposition's best perimeter player, and that's a big part of the reason why William & Mary's defense has improved the way it has this year. Again, offense still driving them, but the Tribe are much better on the defensive end, and he's been a huge part of the reason why.
You can check out our entire interview with our CA basketball insider, Eamon Brennan, on casports.com and on the CA social media outlets. Time to take a look at some of the matchups coming up, and we stay with the Tribe as William & Mary will be back on the road to take on Delaware on flowhoops.com Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
William & Mary continues to lead the nation with its 7 road wins, and at 5-0 in CA play, the Tribe will have a target on its back as it arrives at Bob Carpenter Arena. Delaware is going to be tasked with slowing William & Mary's offense, which is run through Nathan Knight and Andy Van Vliet. 6 times this year, the pair has recorded a double-double in the same game, and Knight is one of 3 players in the CAA averaging a double-double and leads the country with 14 this season. Delaware has alternated wins and losses in each of its last 3 games, and the Blue Hens are still working through some of its rotations after the addition of Dylan Painter this semester. Now, Painter posted his first double-double of the season last Thursday and will be battling down low against Knight and Van Vliet. In the backcourt, we've got a fun matchup between Nate Darling and Luke Lowy, and Darling is 4th in the CAA in scoring, averaging nearly 20 points per game and has hit 51 three-pointers this season. Lowy has really taken on defensive responsibilities for the Tribe and has helped bottle up several of the CAA's top scorers so far.
Also on Thursday night at 7 on flowhoops.com, College of Charleston will welcome Northeastern to TD Arena.
It's a big weekend in the Low Country, and this will be a fun one, Bobby, as 2 of the nation's most efficient guards square off in Grant Riller and Jordan Rowland. Riller leads the CAA in scoring at nearly 22 points per game, just ahead of Rowland, who is averaging 21.6 points per game. The pair are also amongst the most efficient players in the country. Now, we're going to dive into some stats here, but among players used on at least 28% of a team's possessions, Riller is the 8th most efficient player in the country, ranking ahead of a couple names you may have heard of, Cassius Winston and Marcus Howard. Meanwhile, Roland ranks 7th amongst players used on at least 24% of their team's possessions, directly ahead of another name we've heard nationally, Oregon's Peyton Pritchard.
Moving on to Saturday at 2 o'clock on FlowHoops.com from Philadelphia as Drexel will host William & Mary.
The Dragons have been a nice surprise for the first 3 weeks of the season and have been tough at the DAC all year, going 7-2 as we enter the week. Again, it'll be Luke Lowy who'll be tasked with slowing Cameron Winter, who has improved upon his CAA Rookie of the Year campaign. Winter leads Drexel with nearly 15 points per game, while pacing the CAA with over 5 assists per game. And down low, James Butler has 11 double-doubles as we enter the week, ranking 3rd in the country behind Nathan Knight's aforementioned 14 and Notre Dame's John Mooney.
And we wrap up with the Saturday contest at 4 on FlowHoops.com as Hofstra finishes the week on the road at the College of Charleston.
We've got another great guard matchup in this one, Bobby, as Hofstra's Eli Pemberton and DeJour Bowie square off against Riller and Brevin Galloway. After being named the CAA Defensive Player of the Year as a junior, Bowie has come on offensively this year, averaging over 19 points per game, and he's one of 2 players in the CAA with more than 5 assists per contest. Pemberton has posted 5 games this year with 20 or more points, and is 8th in the CAA with nearly 16.5 points per game, and we've seen his late-game heroics already, like at Northeastern. In CAA play, Riller is averaging nearly 24 points per game, second only to Bowie's average of 25.5 points through the first 3 weeks of conference play. Riller ranks in the top 10 of the CAA in scoring, rebounding, and assists through his first 6 conference games. And it's not just Grant Riller who's gotten the job done for Charleston. Brevin Galloway has emerged since the start of CAA play, averaging nearly 14 points in 6 games. Galloway has knocked down 22 threes in those games, the most in the conference, and defensively, Galloway has been a pest on the perimeter, ranking 2nd to Bowie in steals this season.
Now here's a look at the rest of the upcoming action around CAA men's basketball. The Colonial takes over the Capitol. Join us March 7th through the 10th at the Entertainment and Sports Arena for all of the action and excitement in Washington, D.C. as 10 CAA teams battle for a berth in the NCAA tournament. CASports.com will have all the information you need this week regarding links to live stats, video, and audio coverage.
And as always, Bobby, you can continue to follow the league on Facebook and Instagram by searching CA Sports. We're also on Twitter at CA Basketball using the hashtag CA Hoops.
The CAA on-campus crew began their 2020 journey with a stop at William & Mary last week. You can check out the sights and sounds from the trip on the CAA social media outlets. And stay tuned this week with an In Focus feature on the Tribe on CASports.com.
It was great, Bobby. We were able to sit down with one of the CAA's top players, Nathan Knight, to learn a little bit more about the big man's background, what growing up in Syracuse was like, how he made his way to William & Mary, and what his goals are for this season and beyond.
Look forward to seeing that. The crew will be up in Philadelphia this week to take a look at the Drexel Dragons. That is it from us today. Enjoy the games, everyone.